When it comes down to it, man, there's so many dope artists, so many dope acts that have come from out of Staten Island. You know, you got the Force MDs, you got the UMCs, you got Shyhiem Da Rugged Child, JoJo Pellegrino, King Just, RNS, you got Rican Rilla, you got Cleo Trapper, you got Squid Nice, and we have Pop Da Brown Hornet, man. So, you know, a lot of people out there may be familiar with you. A lot of people out there may not be so familiar with you, man. So with that being said, we normally like to give this part of the interview to our guests to give them an opportunity to tell their story and give them a little introduction to our audience, man. So with that being said, the floor is all yours, brother.
Oh, yeah. So, to the listening audience, man, when you think, like he said, Staten Island, you think of Pop Da Brown Hornet. So I was ever looking up to the Force MDs, and then after the Force MDs, musically wise, I was a part of the era to where we wanted to be a voice for Staten Island because Staten Island didn't have a voice. So from all the MCs that you've mentioned, you feel me, especially when it comes to the UMCs or the Wu Tang themselves, I'm from that era. I'm from the beginnings of really a hip hop. When you deal with R&S, dealing with the 4 tracks to the 8 tracks before anything got digital, you know, I was paving my way on Staten Island. So me coming out, like I said, this was in the mid 80s, going into the 90s, when things were being transformed as far as who was going to get on as far as music-wise. So when the UMCs was doing it, and Shyhiem, King Just Clan, I also myself had put out, my first thing I ever put out on wax was Can You Woo Woo Woo? And the B-side was Let's Go to Lap. But then shortly thereafter, with Smoke Records, I had came out with a single called Black on Black Crime, which I'm very well known for, critically acclaimed, known for, really the song that put me on the map. And then the B-side was GP Connection. And then shortly thereafter, I worked on a group project called GP The Grain / GP Woo. And then shortly thereafter, I came out with an album. And this is in the 90s. In 2000, I came out with a solo album called The Underground Emperor before I took a big hiatus.
Mm-hmm. Now, exactly how long was that hiatus you went out for?
Yeah, so as far as record-wise and being and trying to get acknowledged and all of those things or whatever the case may be, you know, realities struck in, the music didn't pop off. There was a lot of hateration going on. So, you know, I fell back and did 731, local 731. So shout out to all my union workers out there grinding, you know, making that real money, that real man work. Yo, but that's what I was doing. So from 2000, I would say, or rather say 2001, and then I didn't really, we made a comeback. The comeback that I made was with King Just. I want to say in 2017, 2018, we made a mixtape, the Emperor and the King, Best of Both Hoods, the Emperor and the King. So that was really like blowing the dust off it. Then my, you know, a solo project, my most recent solo project I came out with was called Foreman Mandela. And so, you know, I dropped that a few years ago. So you figure from 2001 all the way to, you know, 2000 or, you know, 2021 or, you know, so that's a large hiatus. But the reason to come back was just saying that, you know, the music business was so different from being signed to a major label, having to deal with an A&R, having them trying to critique your music, and to doing it now when it's independent, or, you know, you could drop it and within the next day it's heard. It could be around the world. So it's a different beast that you're dealing with. And not dealing with the middleman is something that was very intriguing for me to say, you know what? Let me take a stab at it. You know, I have total creative control of the music that I made. And that's when the music really comes out the best. Nobody should be critiquing anyone else's art or thinking they know what they're doing, even if you've been in the music business, because, like I said, artistry is ever changing and it's different. Me and you could be in the same music class and come back and do a whole different musical piece. You know what I mean? Because every individual artist is not going to make a replica sound like the next guy.